Oh, okay. Well, welcome everybody to episode 14 of the Yes Collective podcast. We're excited to be here. How's everybody's morning?
So far, so good, right? It's early. What is it, 6 a.m.?
It is 6 a.m. It is early.
It's not. It doesn't feel too bad. It's kind of nice. No one's up and around, so.
Traffic's a little lighter.
No traffic.
My morning's been
Still the same morons on the road, though.
Yeah, my morning's been great. The best part was the traffic, not having to drive 50 minutes, and it was 26.
Yeah,
which for me is unheard of. 26 minutes.
I think it took me 26, 27 minutes to get in this morning as well,
Kurt.
which is
half basically,
more than that.
less than half.
Yeah.
I'm driving. I'm like, maybe I should come into the shop earlier and leave earlier, but I would never leave earlier. Is my problem.
That's the problem right there.
Yeah, I'll come in at 6.
Yeah, it just takes more.
6 still.
Yeah. Well, what's new, guys? Since our last get together, it's been busy. I feel like it's just been a whirlwind the past 2 weeks. So Silvio, why don't we just kind of tell us what's going on over on y'all's side? Sometimes I feel like you're in this whole different segment of what we do.
Well, Kurt, I saw on Instagram, one of our social media guys, Sam, went around and said how many Porsches.
Yeah,
are
I didn't
at the
even know
S
he was
Collective.
here doing that.
Yeah. And I had no idea how many Porsches. I mean, he goes, he starts. I'm like, oh, this will be cool, and it's like
Count how many Porsches are currently here at S Collective. 991.2 GT.
And it just keeps going, and I'm like,
But my ears perk up, though, every time he fires something up cool. I know that there's something cool in the shop when I can hear it, right? So what do you got going on right now on the service side?
Man, it's an interesting time of the year here in DFW, right? I feel like as other parts of the country are getting ready to winterize their cars and put them away for the season, we're over here getting ready for show season. It's racing is getting back up and going. It's perfect weather to be on the track. Perfect weather for car shows and supercar Sundays or whatever you want to call them.
yeah.
But I would say we have some pretty cool cars in the shop right now. Some of my favorite cars right now, I think we have the little Safari. We have a 997 Safari that was.
I think there was a.
That awesome gray one.
car.
Yeah,
there was a little video about it.
Yeah, it's super cool.
So Silvio, did he? Because I'm not a Porsche expert like you and Kurt, did he build that, or did it come like that from Porsche?
It was built so someone built it. He did not build it himself, but it was built that way.
Somebody put a bunch of money into it.
A lot of money and a lot of fabrication into it, which is pretty cool. Honestly, it kind of makes
the fab work on it's fantastic,
and it makes kind of a perfect daily. To me, the problem with daily driving a sports car is it just kind of beats you up. You put off-road tires and off-road suspension on your sports car. Now it's comfortable.
It's got the funky Momo steering wheel.
Yeah.
It's got some really cool bits around it that make it stand out. Tell us about it, though. I mean, what's all done to it?
I mean, it's a pretty simple formula, but they did some JRZ lifted shocks, so they're longer travel shocks, bigger tires, the BF Goodrich tires. They did mostly just fab work at that point. It's just bumpers, roof rack, seats.
Really cool. As a really cool spoiler they built for it. That's very.
It's got like
different.
a duckbill spoiler, correct?
Yeah, and it's someone built it, so someone took a lot of time to do that. My favorite part of the fabrication is actually the roof rack. You think of most roof racks are flat.
This one's curved, isn't it?
Is curved to the roof of the car, and it's not just regular metal. Is that there's some really nice sheet metal on there, and it looks excellent.
Somebody put a bunch of money into the fab work in that car, and then whoever picked the rims, that was with the bead locks. That was
Are those
that's
the
a winner,
braid
too.
wheels?
Yep, braid wheels. Yeah,
those are cool.
So that's super cool car, and and it's Porsche, so we like it. Then the other car that I think is super cool, which is rare, it's just sitting down there, which is the Ford Escort.
The Cosworth.
Cosworth.
I mean, it's such a rare car to have here in the U.S.
So for those watching, what is a Kazi, right? Because all of us at the table know what it is and where you can get one and where they were really popular. But tell us a little bit more about what is a Kazi? What makes it unique and special and cool?
Yeah, people will be astonished that there's actually a Ford Escort that is super cool.
Yeah, there is
exactly.
one.
Right.
Yeah. We have a purple one.
Yeah.
So,
So it's a Ford Escort to begin with, right? So it's your regular run-of-the-mill economy car from the early 90s. But Ford was rallying at the time, so they were like, well, we need a homologated car. So they went ahead and started putting some fast bits on this Focus. I think it was sent out to Cosworth themselves, and Cosworth did all the work to it. So they added a turbo. There's some suspension work to it.
They're all right-hand drives. So
They're all right-hand drives. None came to the US, unfortunately. And they added this super cool double-layer wing,
yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
That nowadays we're used to big wings, right? So we have GT3s that have, big wings or adjustable and everything. But back in '92, to have something like that was impressive. The funny thing about this Kazi that's been here, every time I get in it to go move it, I always get the freaking left side and go, oh, darn.
So I went to go see one of my best friends in Australia. This was years ago, and I had spent a couple of weeks in Australia. And he as soon as I landed, he goes, "You're going to make the mistake." And every time I'd get in the wrong side,
Same.
and it drove me absolutely crazy. And he'd just be sitting in the car laughing. But it's true, right?
Yeah,
Like,
in the mornings
we
I go open the door and it's like, oh, wrong door, walk around the car.
Yeah, our friends across the pond will say the right side, but for us, it's we have a right side.
We have the right side, yeah. Just
but
like
it's a cool car, and is that a factory purple?
no, so it is
Okay.
repainted. So it is a repainted. The other cool part about this specific car is that it's got a sequential gearbox.
Wow.
So it's not
Yeah,
just
and the rally wheels on it. Just, it's insane.
it's just such a cool looking car, and it's just rad. I mean, there's nothing. It's not a fast car. Doesn't do anything particularly great, but it's just cool. you
Yeah,
know?
I mean, I went so far as to look them up, and they're 50 grand or less. That's a very cool car.
Well,
for
something like
money.
that, we all attend these shows all the time. And I think you have this younger generation that's really intrigued with cool cars and hypercars. We all had hypercars and Lamborghini Coutages on the wall and stuff. But when something like that comes to a show, it gathers a whole different audience, which is
Yeah.
really cool. And it's cool to see people of all, age groups come up to it and inquire about it or want to know, or to talk to some kid who's 20 and he's like, I know exactly what that is.
Yeah.
It's really cool, because we grew up with that stuff.
Yeah,
I mean, humans
That's
are
more
really,
in our age.
Yeah,
exactly.
I mean, humans are super curious, right? I mean, we want to know what's going on. You can pull a Lamborghini Performante up, and you pull that purple Cosworth up next to it, and nobody's looking at the Lamborghini. Everybody's looking at
at the
like,
Cosworth.
what is this? Everybody wants to know what it is. And then Sylvia, your shop is full of super cool cars. And where does everybody go when they walk in? Right to that Ford
right to
Escort.
the freaking Cosworth. Yep.
Well, and the Honda S2000. It seems to still have a cult following.
Oh yeah, of course. That's still mid-engine technically. Front mid-engine car. Lightweight sports cars. I mean, how much better can you get? High revving motor.
Yep.
I mean, it's kind of tough to beat it. They just don't make that type of car anymore.
Yeah, you touched on it earlier. We are unique where we're located in the U.S. in that we don't have the same type of winters that other people have. So, tell us what race season looks like here. Like, I mean, you were sharing earlier, and you're way more involved in this than I am. But what does it look like to prep and get ready, and how many races are coming up in November and December? When does race season really stop around here too?
Well, in a simple way, it doesn't ever stop. But I would say there's a little summer break that's not really mentioned anywhere. But it seems like August and July, everybody kind of takes it easy.
It's difficult, Silvio, to get in a race car when it's 110 out, even if you have a chill-out system. It just can't keep up.
It's hot.
It can't
Tires
keep
are
up.
hot, and lap times are slower. So it's a lot of the time, a lot of people just kind of want to take a break. But it seems like it's always a rush. Fall and spring is just the mad dash. Like, let's cram as many events as we can. It's every weekend from here until the first weekend of December. And it's kind of a unknown rule that I guess everybody just stops after the first weekend of December. We don't do anything until mid-January is usually when we pick it up. And it's mostly just for the holidays. Weather-wise, it doesn't really change much
you
there.
You can easily race
So
year-round
if
here
it's
in
30
Texas.
degrees outside, are you guys concerned about track temps at that point?
If the sun is out, it's not that big of a deal. Yes, tires don't like being under 45 degrees, 40 degrees, but if you're easy on them, getting up to temperature, you can have some real fast lap times. Because I can tell you, cars like cold air.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's simple as that, right? Especially the turbo cars,
cars.
right? They just love the cold air. So this is like the time to go set your fastest laps. Like generally, if you're doing like lap time wise, is February is the time that you end up doing your fastest laps, and then you end up chasing those times all
year,
all summer long until it starts to cool off again.
I do know that you have something exciting coming up that I think people would want to hear about. Why don't you talk about this WRL thing you're getting us all involved in?
well, WRL is endurance racing. So
I was going to say, tell people about. Yeah.
WRL is an endurance series. So essentially, it's a 8-hour race or a 7-hour race. It's generally 2 races in a weekend. But it's a super fun team effort. Like there's something about competing as a team that you're all in it together. You're all rooting for each other. It just makes it really fun. So our goal.
And do you have a good mix of drivers, right? Or does everybody have to be at a pro type of level?
Oh no, there's a mixed bag. Essentially, you can do anything from someone that's just started doing their first races can compete to to pro level drivers. So it's just a complete mixed bag of drivers and cars too. You have everything from Scion FRSs to Porsches to GT4 type cars. You have Mercedes GT4s, Supra GT4s. They even have small type of prototypes running around. So it's multi-class racing, by the way. So I guess that's the first thing I should say. It's 4 different classes, and they all go at the same time.
And we're fielding a team.
And we are fielding a team, right? So we have our little Porsche Cayman. So we have a 987.2 that we've converted into a race car. Our plan is to do 5 races next year. But as you all know, 5 races, endurance racing is essentially a month worth of preparation before and after. So even though 5 races don't sound like a lot, it's going to be a lot of work. And our plan is to go to kind of the bigger tracks. We'll be at Barber, we'll be at Road Atlanta, Road America, Coda.
Road America.
And Eagles Canyon, since it's a local racetrack. Mm-hmm. But it's going to be super fun. There's a lot of work to be done. Fuel system needs to be set up for fast filling. So again, since it's an endurance race, we only come in for fuel and driver changes, essentially. So we have to come in, and the fastest you put fuel in the car, the fastest you can get out on track. So our goal is to be able to, put 16, 17 gallons in the car in a matter of, if you're doing it more than 4 minutes, that's taking too long. So we're prepping up the fuel for that. And then obviously just try to make the car last. So even though Porsches are very reliable cars,
it's still a car.
It's still a car, and it's going to be beaten on for 8 hours straight. So
if somebody were interested in getting into this, right? And again, because you're running in a multi-class field, you can have all different types of vehicles. What would you tell somebody that to expect to run in a full season from a cost aspect?
It depends.
I'm sure there's somebody out there that's already thinking to themselves like, all right, I'm interested, but what's this going to cost me to do?
It's very class dependent, and the way you want, and then also the way you want to run the program is also dependent on it, right? So we have friends that have done it on their own, right? So one of the guys had a race car, and they all kind of wrench on it together, and they don't bring any crew or anything like that, and they can do it for entry cost plus a set of tires for the weekend, $6,000, per weekend. To all the way to, some of the, you can say more pro level teams that are in the GT4 cars. And it could be 50, 60 grand a weekend to run one of those cars, which is still very, very cheap compared to, any kind of professional.
Yeah, racing is not a cheap sport.
No, not at all. So, it depends how many races you want to do. Their schedule does have, and don't quote me on it fully, but I believe it's 10 races for the year. So we're planning on doing about half of them. Some of them are West Coast based, some are East Coast based. So we're kind of in the East Coast side. So you could
be 30 to 50K, and you could be upwards of $1 million, right? Just depending on your setup.
Exactly, and depends on the car that you're using. Again, consumables on a GT4 type car is going to be much higher than the consumables on, say, a little Toyota or a little, something like that.
Well, it also depends on even what tires you're running, Silvio. I mean,
so the cool thing about this series is
it our tires homologated?
There is so 2 of the 4 classes have a spec tire, and that's like the lower classes have a spec Continental. And the idea is this tire lasts a long time, so the idea is to kind of cut the tire cost down.
I didn't know that. I mean, that's super smart, because anybody that knows anything about racing, like Ferrari Challenge or something, it is exceedingly expensive.
Yeah, and honestly, the main cost with racing, I find out, is tires. Consumables and tires is going to be the highest thing that you're going to pay for in racing, right? You know,
This is why you
nowadays,
see so many of those little BRZs and GR86s out there, because brakes are cheap.
Tires are cheap.
Tires are cheap.
Motors are cheap.
motors are cheap. Yeah, so give you an
And
idea.
it's a great platform to learn on.
Oh yeah, it's an rear-wheel drive, lightweight. I mean, it will teach you everything you need to know about a car. You get fast in, say, a little BRZ, and you'll be able to hop into most anything and be fast in it. If you're able to learn how to carry the momentum, you know, carry the brakes, and how to accelerate, how to turn, I mean, that car teaches you the basics, is what I would say. Miatas, FRSs, you know, the Honda S2000s.
GR86.
GR86, any of these lightweight sports cars are going to be the easiest tool for you to learn. The limit is
And
a lot
least
lower.
expensive to run.
Yeah, by a long shot. By a long shot. Tire, like I said, tires is all about the tires. Tire cost. You know, it's like you can go race a car with used tires and get away with a weekend, but until your competitor shows up with new tires, and you're kind of forced into new tires at that point. Unless if you're not showing up with new tires and the other guys are showing up with new tires, you're just kind of wasting your time.
That's really smart by the WRL guys to do a tire deal like that. That's going to make it a lot more affordable for a lot more people.
Exactly. So it's the two slowest classes are the ones that run on the spec tire, and then the two faster classes run on. It's still a street tire based competition, so you have to have a 200 treadwear type tire.
And we're in the lower two, or we're racing the lower two category.
Exactly. So we're racing GP1, which will be the fastest of the spec tire classes.
So where are you now with the builds? So I saw that the guys finished up the PPF install, right? So the car looks killer, by the way. But where are you? Is all the suspension on? Is everything complete?
We've tested.
Yeah, we've tested the car.
So
The
it's just
car's-
like dialing it in now?
The cars, yeah, we just need to dial it in. There's still few little items that need to be taken care of. One of the most important things, again, is and I mentioned it's fuel is what I would say for WRL, is how long can you go on a gas tank? You know, how quickly can you fill the gas tank? And how accurate are you at knowing when you're going to run out of gas? So what we're working on right now is a fuel consumption for the car. So there's a way that you can do a math channel and then, you know, display it on your dash, how many gallons you're burning. And the way they do that, it's pretty trick. They use injector pulse width. So they can see how much each injector is spraying, and by knowing what the flow rate of the injector is, they can figure out exactly how
Well, they
much
can
fuel.
extrapolate the fuel from that.
Exactly. So our idea is to be able to have exact numbers of how much fuel we're burning. Again, we know our tank is 17 gallons. So the idea is if we have a good display of how much we're burning, once you get to 16 gallons, you're radioing in saying, hey guys, I'm about to run out of gas, so get ready. And that's what's really all about with the endurance racing. It's just how much can you extract out of one tank of gas. The way it usually looks is you have 4 to 5 drivers. The way we're doing it is, you know, we have a couple of guys that want to rent for the season, but we'll have a couple open seats as well.
We have 2 open seats right now. Or do we have?
Right now we have 2 open seats, yeah. So, and it's going to be myself.
Well, one, I just voted myself in. So.
Myself, Kelsey will be driving. Then we have the other guy that's kind of committed for the season, and then we'll have the other 2 open seats. And it could be anybody can come in and out. You don't have to do all races. You can do one race. You know, kind of dip your toes in it and see how it feels. But man, it's
So if anybody out there is interested, you know, reach out to Silvio.
you have to be proficient at driving a manual transmission. That's the main. That's
And you need to be fast
Yeah.
to race on our team.
'Cause
You're going to need to be fast. We've got some fast guys, especially if like Stewart and some of these guys sign on it.
we want to win. I
Yeah,
mean, we're
yeah,
doing this
right,
because
the
we
goal
want
is
to
to
go
win,
in.
right?
Yeah, the goal
So-
is to go win.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure you want Kurt on your team, but
Hey, I'm not bad. I just haven't made great status yet.
I think it's cool what you did, Silvio. And you know, if anybody doesn't know this already, the new car is called Cue Ball,
Yep.
which was replaced.
Golf
Golf ball.
So
Yeah.
we had this hail dented Cayman, and it was white, so we called it golf ball because it just had all the speed dimples. We replaced it with another white Cayman of the same generation, but it doesn't have any dent.
It's,
So
as far as your cars go, Silvio, this new one's pretty fancy.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
Yeah.
you know,
It was the
smooth.
nicer of the two.
it hasn't been through a hailstorm. It
Yeah.
hasn't been, hasn't
it's,
caught on fire or anything. But
so-
you've put a lot of work into that car. A
Oh, yeah.
lot.
So we got all the parts on. You got all the testing
and
done.
you might be confusing it a little bit because our race car, that's a WRL car, is not PPF'd yet. You're thinking of our other build, unfortunately.
Yes, Silvio has many builds going.
So
Kurt,
it's you know, as you do this more, you figure out you can't have a car that fits all. So you have
you
to
have
have
the
different
autocross
cars.
car and then the WRL car.
Yes, and then we also have the
ladies
time
and
trial
gentlemen,
car.
Daniel Smith.
Welcome to the podcast.
You're on. Yeah, gee, we wanted you to have a grand
Hey,
entrance.
all right. Woo. You're welcome.
Yeah, Silvio, I mean, you built that car from the chassis up.
This one we did not. This one we did not. So
I'm thinking of the other
that's see, I
car.
got
Right,
you
so
guys all
you got me
confused because we got
confused,
so
too.
many builds going on
Yeah,
at the same
there's
time.
a lot of it.
Yeah.
So this is the one you went to Florida to go get.
No.
Correct?
No, that's the car I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That's the car I'm talking about. Kurt and I are on the same page, but we're both
So-
wrong.
I'm getting all excited
okay,
about
all
the
right.
wrong car.
Yeah.
All
Here's
right.
the
That I'm not driving.
vehicles that we are utilizing. So we have this
Okay.
one called Cue Ball. It's an endurance car. We bought this car out of New Jersey. It had a cage, it had a running drive, but we've done everything else to it. Then we have another car which is unnamed, which is a chassis we picked up in Florida with enough parts to build another 2 cars. So the idea when we got this one is we're going to build it, and because we ended up with all these other spare parts, we really needed an autocross car. So we found another car of the same generation that we're turning into an autocross car with all the leftover parts from the chassis build. So there's a total of 3 987.2s.
I'll take the keys to one.
And then we have the 718 time trial car, which is a 2-liter turbo that we're playing with turbos on it, putting bigger turbos. And the idea is to make it as fast as a GT4 RS without spending GT4 RS money.
It's very cool, and it's neat to see how you build these cars. You know, the thing that we talk about more than anything, especially for you and I, Silvio, is safety and racing safety. So, you know, when you're going to put a high net worth customer into a WRL car, I know now that I know which car it is, that car has a world class roll cage in it.
Oh, and it's an amazing cage. So the car
But
was
one of the top fabricators installed that cage. It's
Mm-hmm.
tied to the chassis, isn't it?
Yeah, oh yeah. So this chassis was originally built for pro racing back in 2016. So it was a Continental ST Challenge is what it was called at the time. So this car, at the time, there wasn't a lot of homologated race cars from the factory. So the GT4s were just kind of starting to come in. So before then, all the cars were built by shops, and one of the top Porsche shops built this chassis. So it's an incredible cage. As a matter of fact, if you're entertained, go look at some Continental ST Challenge and you see how much they crash these cars, and you'll see how safe the cages are.
Yeah. We talk so much about safety, you and I do, and we talk about so much about how dangerous it can be to take a street car on the track.
Oh yeah. I mean, as you start getting into these faster cars, we have a customer that's built a GT3 street car into a time trial car. The speeds that he's traveling at are, Eagles Canyon, say some of the straightaways, he's doing 140 miles an hour. Front straightaway, which is shorter, it's 125, 130 miles an hour. The speeds that these cars are getting to without a cage is just a whole nother. It's not your Miata anymore, right? That you're out there like,
everybody's
yeah.
street car has 500 horsepower. That's the
Everything.
change.
Yeah.
You know, a 10-year gap, a 20-year gap. The cars that people used to take
Yeah.
to the track, 300 horses
Yeah.
maybe.
I mean, Daniel,
Well, that
take us.
backstretch at ECR in mild 911, I did 98.
Yeah,
I
see,
think,
it's-
and I was
and you were-
screaming,
yeah.
right, and coming into the turn.
What will a Z06 do? 130, 140?
They'll be right up there. Yeah, so
Yeah, it's
yeah.
very different.
It's when you used to show, at least, even Coda, it's a great example because Coda attracts all the best cars, right, in just the area. So Coda, back then, you can show up with your regular Cayman S, and you'd have a fast car. Now you show up with a Cayman S, and that's like, oh man, you're in a slow car. You don't have a GT4 RS, you don't have a GT3 RS, you don't have a ZR1 Corvette or ZL1 Camaros and all this. If you don't have that, you're in a slow car. If you don't have, just like you were saying, 500 horsepower or more, you're in a slow car.
Yeah. The other thing that we talk a ton about, Silvio, and I think people don't realize when you take a GT3 RS to the track and then you modify that car for the track, by the time you're done modifying that car, you're 50, 60,000. We have several clients that are 50 or 60,000 into development of their cars. They go out and race them. They devalue them tremendously when all the time you could have just bought a race car.
Oh yeah, so think of those $50,000-$60,000 you just spent on the car. You actually just devalued that car by $50,000-$60,000, right? And then there's some ho-ho's gonna come out with a cup car, and it's still gonna just go, you know.
Yeah.
It's gonna, you know. So we always.
I like how you phrase that. Some ho-ho is going to come out there to cup car and just smoke you.
I'm
Put it
not
on
sure
the back
what
of
I'm.
your car when you get to the track. I'm that ho-ho.
That says ho-ho.
I just like that term. I'm not sure I've heard it somehow.
It's not even close to Christmas yet, but here we are.
But yeah, it's just that, you know, obviously there's definitely something attractive to being able to drive your car to and from the track.
Well, you bring up a really good point. And we, years ago, we shared a mutual client, right? And that individual is a extremely talented driver, both in Ferrari and both in Porsche. And I remember him telling me years ago, there is a huge difference when you get on a track between a street car that you can take to the track versus a dedicated track car. The driving experience is vastly different.
Oh, yeah.
But then obviously the safety, right?
All of it, all around. I mean, we've had one of our customers that has a really nice built car jump into a club sport, and he came out of it and was just like, darn, like, this is so much better. Like, how can I make my car like this? And it's like, well, the chassis the cage is making the chassis stiffer. You have motorsport ABS, you have motorsport brake system, you have motorsport traction control. All these things are just.
Well, even driving golf ball, you know, when I did a MSR, that was a complete driving experience than driving, you know, the 911 or the M3 around the track. And I had, what it does for you, at least it did for me, is it's confidence inspiring, right? I know that the car can handle things that the street car really isn't set up for. And so what that does for me mentally on the track is it gives me the opportunity to push skills and drive further into a corner or, you know, brake.
Well, what you and I
later.
always say, Silvio, is the car knows it's a race car.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
A race car ECU knows it's a race car ECU. It doesn't think it's snowing out
when
or
he
something
took me,
and going
he
to
took
ice
me
mode.
around, I was like, holy smokes, I had no idea this car was this fast around the track. And then I drove it, and I was like, wow, this is dialed in. And it's really exciting to be in a car that can handle things that way.
And I've been doing this for a very, very long time. And, you know, I don't believe anybody's ever been killed in a club sport or a Ferrari Challenge car. I don't think. And many people have been killed in street cars on the track.
But then
Many.
you've had plenty of time on the track in cars.
I always tell people you never have more fun than driving a slow car fast.
Yeah.
It is the most fun you can have. I don't care if you have 1,000 horsepower in your car and you keep lapping me. I'm having more fun than you. I'm learning the car. I'm learning myself. I'm learning my limits, my abilities. I'm learning so many things. Whereas that person that's just blowing past you is just white knuckling, holding on. And there's some skill to pilot a car with that kind of power. But where do you go from there when the car is dictating what it wants to do? You're just a passenger at that point, you know?
Well, Daniel, your point is a really good one because you have some really terrible drivers out there with 700 horsepower cars, and they're just dangerous.
That's it. They are piloting. They are just holding on, you know?
Yeah, the best feeling is when you get to go around them in your slow car.
Well, guys,
Because they can't take the turn.
we had a situation at a local track a few weeks ago. Young kid, it's a parade lap, if I remember. I wasn't even racing.
The white vet.
Just awful.
Yeah. I might want to edit that out, Kurt, but I didn't want to talk
We didn't
about
drop a name,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
But
photos are
that
out there.
that young person had a passenger, and they were on a parade lap, and the parade lap was not being monitored properly with brake cars in between it, and he just missed an entire braking zone and sent his car right through the guardrail, and the passenger was injured, and the car was destroyed.
Yep.
And it's because he didn't know what he was doing. He didn't know what brake zones were. And he could have killed somebody.
It's proper education, right? So that's kind of what we also do with our customers because we do love building a car, right? Like
Absolutely.
it's something really
Absolutely.
cool about like I said, driving your car in the garage, you drive it to the track.
There's an allure to driving to the track and driving home.
Yeah,
for sure.
it's great. There's less commitments, but we always try to teach our customers, right? So as we're building the cars, we're like, hey, let's go out and do practice days. Hey, let's go out and do some coaching days.
Yeah,
So
let
we
us
always-
support you for a day, and so we can tell you.
Exactly. Especially with a new build. Generally, when we do a build, I go with them to the track. You know, we
Well,
spend
Silvio,
a day.
when we do a build like we did for the Sauter family, which there's no problem to have that in there. For the Sauter family, we did an extensive build, and then we sent support included in the price of the car to the track for a full weekend.
Yeah, and that included actually, we shook it, since this is a particular case because they were out of the state. We took the car and shook it down ourselves, did any tweaks that needed to be done before the car got shipped. And then when we shipped the car, we shipped it with one, well, not literally.
shipped CJ.
We put CJ in the box and sent them out,
Yeah.
you know. But that's kind of how we do it because we want them to learn about the car. We want them to get everything out of the car. I don't want them to show up to the track and be like, I didn't know how the brakes were going to work, so I rammed the car into a fence.
The best part about, sorry, Kurt.
No, you're good.
The best part, Silvio, about what you just said was when I got that call from the Souders after they went to the track, they're like, we had no idea how little we knew about this race car, even though we've read online, even though we've done all these things. They're like, having CJ there was, it made the whole weekend. It made the whole weekend enjoyable. We didn't have to worry, and we learned so much. And to me, that was the phone call that I wanted to get from them. And it just changes the way that people perceive things when you do that sort of thing and deliver the car with support.
Yep. It's like orientation, right? We want you to know how to use your car. We want you to know how to get the most out of the car that we just built for you.
So I came across a video last night, oddly enough, and they had a driving instructor with the passenger, and the passenger being owner of a brand new GT3, .2. And so he's doing some warm-up laps. And he's like, all right, are you ready? And the guy's like, yeah, let's do this. And it was funny. He was driving it to a limit, and he was still commenting on this car is not set up yet. And what he was referencing was the toe and the camber, the brakes, the any type of sway bar adjustments that are needed to really extrapolate out of that car everything it has to offer. And I think a lot of people miss, they go out and they go buy a GT3 off the shelf and they're like, it's an amazing car. I can take it to the track. It's going to be ready. And I don't think that's the case. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I'll give you
there's a lot of stuff that needs to be done prior to just even a track day.
I'll give you a perfect
I
example,
know where you're
Kurt.
going.
GT4 RS, brand new, 2025, brand new.
Oh, yeah.
Took it to the track.
Well, first of all, they are out of the box with no camber. They are edgy and difficult to drive. Would be a nice way of saying it.
Yeah. So this client goes to the track and says, I just can't figure this out. The car's scary. It's skating all over the place, this and that. And Sylvia goes, okay, we'll let us do our thing. We did our thing.
So we did our
Toe
setup.
links, camber.
Yeah. We did our setup. And first, the guy was like, "Oh, this is too aggressive. This is not gonna. I've heard from the internet that this is too much. This is not
The
the
key.
right."
I've heard from the internet that this is too much.
When
Yeah.
the internet speaks.
Yeah, and he's like, I'm
The
worried
keyboard
because
warriors.
this is what the internet's saying, and I'm like, just let me do my thing, just trust me on this one. He goes out and he dropped like 7 or 8
I
seconds.
thought it was
and
13.
It was something. It was massive. I mean,
Yeah.
it was a time.
Yeah.
He was running times that would have made BRZs look fast, and by the time he was done, he was like, this car's amazing, and now he's very fast. Last time he came by, he was like, can I have more of that? Can I have more of that? I want more of whatever you just
Well,
did.
the right setup on a street car for the track makes it safer as well.
It does. Now, there was another example that I was thinking about is we had another client with another 4RS. It was brought to you guys for PPF and some detailing. And when I see the car and they're telling me, oh, it's going to be a track car, I'm like, this car needs an alignment. It needs setup. And they're like, no, it's fine. I don't need it.
Yeah.
Right? I don't need it. It's all good.
The internet says it's okay.
The internet says it's okay. Right? He took it out. He didn't call me, but I think he called you saying,
He takes the car out. and calls me and says, "Oh my God, this thing is so dangerous." And he goes, "Can we set up a track day where you can bring some cars out and Silvio can do some demos for us?" And which is happening this Saturday.
Yep, that's
so
right.
literally this guy spooked himself in this brand new GT4RS and was like, maybe you guys do know something about what you're talking about. Maybe I should get a race car.
And I think it's important to note that we all watch videos. Like, if you're in a car community, you're watching content all the time, and you're seeing guys that know what they're doing, guys and gals that don't know what they're doing, and you never really can grasp like how much is involved in what you're viewing online. Does that make sense?
Well,
Right?
you don't
so
know.
you see
Yeah.
talent, but how much training have they had? How much seat time have they had? And that's why I think it's really important. If you want to take your car to the track, come here. Like, talk to Silvio. He'll tell you what your car needs to be prepared so you can have an enjoyable, safe track day. And I think there's a lot of great information online, and we're so reliant on that. But I think we forget that talking to somebody face-to-face that does this day in and day out is really relevant if you want to be successful.
It's
right?
really hard to filter good info and bad info online nowadays.
Yeah,
I mean,
'cause
there's
everybody
just
has an
so
opinion.
much. Yeah, there's way too many opinions. But it's just tough to figure out what's right and what's wrong. But we try to show that with lap times, right? Hey, our lap times are fast.
So let the
therefore,
work speak for itself.
yeah, exactly. So we most of our drivers are confident, in their cars because we give them confidence with what we do with the cars. And that's kind of our goal. It's not just to set up a car, but it's to set up the whole driver and car, the whole ecosystem, right? Is what we're looking for.
So that's important too, because I remember, and I'm going to date myself, but when you would get magazines, right?
Hey, man, I still
Sport
like
compact
magazines.
car
Oh,
was
sport
always one of the,
compact car.
as soon as that bad
Four-wheel
boy would come
drive.
out. So you're flipping through pages, you're looking at 0 to 60s, you're looking at quarter mile times. If you were lucky, they took it to a track that you had heard of, and you're like, oh, okay, what's the track time? All of that was relevant, but then it wasn't, right? That's not you behind the wheel. So many people will get behind the wheel of a car and say, this car can do this amount of, or can do this speed, or it can do this lap time. If it's set up for the driver and the driver knows what they're doing, sure. But a lot of times, what you're doing is you're catering the car to the driver, right?
Yeah.
To the owner. And a lot of people don't think about that. A car off of the showroom floor or out of the factory, however you want to purchase your vehicle, it's not geared for you. It's geared for the maker.
Everybody.
And well, exactly. It's geared how they wanted it. That doesn't mean that the elevation changes that you're experiencing are the same that we're experiencing. And there's so many things that we're going to go through and set up. I'm going to throw we in there. That's, like you're saying, it's priceless. You know what I mean? To get that kind of input from somebody, to be able to come down and talk to somebody like Silvio.
Yeah, when the other problem is that everybody thinks they're a great driver. That's the other problem.
Every one of us better have our.
Well, isn't there? I think there's a statistic
I've been
where they
humbled a
ask.
few times.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I know where my place is.
They ask people. They're asked to, and apparently, and not just racetrack driving, just driving in general. And the statistics is something like 7 or 8 out of every 10 drivers think that they're an above average driver.
Yeah.
So think about that. Like almost everybody around you thinks they're an above average driver. So that's
Well, think about
It's go ahead.
No, but think about the ZR1 test they did at the Nürburgring. That was scary how fast that car was. So everybody sees that and is like, oh, if I get myself a ZR1,
Yeah.
I'm going to run, I don't know,
And you know how
7
scary
minutes.
it is to
run.
do it at that speed? It's scary.
And the car was hitting over 200
Yeah.
on the straight. You crash that car going 200 miles an hour, you aren't walking away from that.
I think for myself, I'm a different type of driver. I like to learn. I think, I've been fortunate to have Silvio coach me and Kelsey coach me. Both different styles, by the way. It's pretty entertaining. If you want to be yelled at, ride with Silvio. If you want to be quietly coached, ride
Coddled?
with...
if you want to be cuddled.
Yeah, if you want to be coddled, yeah.
You want to be swaddled to drive with Kelsey?
But I go back to all the years I was riding motorcycles. I saw guys go down because they were riding way past their limit, or we were on backcountry roads and you overshoot a turn, or you get target fixation taking place. Those things happen so fast,
Yeah.
right?
Look
and
at
if you're
Enoch,
not
Kurt.
prepared,
Look what happened with Enoch.
Yeah.
Look, he's out riding his motorcycle in the mountains, having a great time, and a pickup truck's doing a U-turn, and he got killed. And he was cooking. I mean, when he impacted that, he was moving. But that's
Well, it's the preparation part. There are guys that are always going to push, and they're going to test their personal limits, whether they've been, had the training or not. And then there are people like myself where I gradually grow into those next slots. And I think what's cool about seeing all the clients that come in here to get their cars adjusted, a lot of those guys are just like that. They want to get better, so they're coachable, right? They want their cars to be faster, so they work with you and your team to develop and design a car that's right for them and their skill set at this point in time, which also leaves room for growth in the future.
And we have all sorts of types of drivers, right? So that's one of the things we like doing is interviewing people before we set up the car, right? It's not just like, oh, you want the fastest setup, or you want the most comfortable setup. It's always, what do you want to do with the car? Where are you in your, I hate this word, but where are you on your driving journey? And so that's the things that we try to get before we even touch the car, right? So we're not even going to put a wrench on it, but on the car until we've talked to you, until we figure out what are your goals, what you want to do, where do you want to get to, right? So there's certain drivers that may want to drive a race car eventually, right? So maybe we just go with like, hey, well, let's just make some minor adjustments to your car, learn the car. There's some drivers that say, no, I'm not interested in driving a race car. I just want to have a cool, fast street car that I can take on track, right? So then we focus on the build of that car. There's certain drivers that come to us and they're like, I just want to set the fastest lap time. There's some drivers that come to us and I just want a comfortable car to drive around that's not going to be edgy. Sometimes the fastest setup that you can do on the car can be pretty edgy or a little difficult to drive, but that's the fastest setup. Or, some people just want something comfortable, right? Something that you're going to the track, you enjoy, you do some laps, and you're not stressed out about the back end coming around or anything. So that's where it all comes down to, like, talking to people and seeing what they want to do.
Yeah, and to your point, Kurt, the better you get as a driver, the more you need a race car. As you become a highly proficient driver in a 700 horsepower street car, you need a race car.
Yeah.
So I've noticed you've had a particular car over there for quite some time that had an off at one of the local tracks.
It actually was an oof. Kurt. It was.
It's more than just an off.
Yeah.
Fairly expensive car, right? So you're heavily involved in the racing stuff, and then we do everything else on service. Where are we with parts? Have you seen any type of impact with tariffs or anything like that with getting the parts we need to do the job?
No, the parts are all available. They're all
they?
here. They've just they've gone a little more expensive, right? So
Yeah, a little bit slower. A little bit slower to arrive.
Yeah.
CBP Kurt handles all the tariff collection and everything, and so a little bit slower. It may hold it up for 3 or 4 days, something like that.
Yeah.
But availability of parts is...
Everything's still available.
Okay.
Everything's out there.
I know there was a buzz going on for a while. People started going into panic mode about not being able to get parts.
Internet. I think it was just internet. I don't think we've had any problem getting...
Everything we wanted, we've gotten.
Yeah.
Just a little bit more expensive.
There was maybe a little bit at the very beginning of this where there was a panic where people were buying a lot of this stuff. So a lot of the inventories got, depleted a little bit.
Yeah.
But
a lot of the U.S. inventory got depleted.
But now we're right back to normal.
Yeah.
I mean, all the parts are available. Like I said, we have seen price increases, but that's just like everything else. But everything's still there. The quality of the parts are still good parts. We're not really seeing any slowdowns there necessarily. People that want to build their cars are still going to want to build their cars, no matter if the parts have gone up. It's just part of doing business.
Kurt, to answer your question, like Ferrari and Maserati parts, those come to us from Italy, and so we handle the tariff payment ourselves on all those parts. Porsche parts come through the Porsche dealer or Porsche Motorsport. They're already tariffed. But when Silvio goes to Porsche Plano and gets a part, you don't see any tariff or any sort of tariff collection.
It's just built in.
It's just built in. But with Ferrari, Maserati, and Lambo parts, the shippers were responsible for the tariff. So we see the tariff. But with our clientele, I mean, certainly the parts are more expensive. Certainly things have gone
But
up.
that hasn't stopped people.
But it hasn't stopped any of our clients from doing what they love. You know, I had a talk with the guy the other day, and he's like, "Well, it's just expensive," and I'm like, "Well, you have all kinds of money. You have been super successful, and you might be dead next week. So buy a race car. What does it matter?" I'm like $160,000. You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
$160,000 or $180,000 to you is not a big deal. So if it's something that you want to do, then do it.
What I have found interesting with some of the tariff stuff is depending on the vendor that we're getting parts from. So some of the vendors have high volume, so they're moving parts a lot faster. Those prices have gone up faster than the vendors that are not moving the inventory fast. And what we're told, at least, because I'm calling these vendors and being like, hey, you know, this part's way more expensive to you than this other one. And they're like, well, those warehouses haven't cleared their entire inventory, so their inventory is not tariffed yet.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing that we've noticed with the higher volume places. All their stuff has already gone up in price, while some of the slower moving stuff has not gone up in price.
Yeah, we have seen a significant increase in price of shocks. I know that for sure.
Shocks is probably some of the hardest hit items, just because whenever we're building a track car, that's generally is the most expensive part that you're buying, and since it's all percentage based, that's where I've seen the
And every
biggest.
one of those things hits all the tariff deals because it's made of metal. I mean,
Yeah.
it's all baked into. It's a perfect storm for. So that I mean, we've seen 25, 35, 40% price increases.
Tires are the other things that are starting to really creep up in price as well. Which again, like I mentioned earlier in the episode, that's our number
expensive
one.
sport.
It's the number one expense when we're racing.
Yeah.
Tires are the number one expense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Danny, what's going on in the shop? Any cool projects over on the
Favorite
detail
cars,
PPF
cool cars,
side?
I was like, they're all
I saw
cool.
that Ineos that you guys finished.
Satin, the satin military
that
green
was
Ineos was
sick.
fantastic.
That looked absolutely fantastic.
It's one of those where you look at it and you're like, why isn't this a factory color? You know, it's like it's such a cool
So
look
delivering
on
that car,
vehicle.
the response I got from everybody,
Yeah.
of all the cars we did was right up there. So I mean, what a
Yeah.
cool car.
And Daniel, you and I are like, ugh, this isn't going to look good. And
It's
then
another one of those on paper, yeah.
And then they put it on there, and you walk in, you see it, you're like, oh,
That's how it should have come.
Oh, the idea that
Give me the box to check on the order.
Yeah, Kurt, the idea that military green
And that's
is
it's
not a
just
factory
OD green.
color.
You would
for-
think that'd be the first thing, right, on a vehicle.
Yeah, but
like
it had
that.
the tan interior. We
That
powder
camel
coated the
interior
wheels.
was cool, but
Yeah.
it was like everything that I would normally say. I don't know if that's gonna look right. I don't know if that's gonna look right. And then as soon as everything got put together, because the trim is kind of a satin black, we did satin black on the wheels, and then we did a satin military green, and I was like, man, this is gonna look real soft and blurry when you look at it. No.
Oh man,
No,
And
it looked
Kurt,
great.
He delivered it right to the client, right? The guy was.
No, I brought it. Yeah. It was-
Yeah.
Well, but then the
No,
sales
the
guy
salesman
got
took
it.
it
And,
right
Oh,
to the
salesman.
client.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Salesman grabbed it.
I guess they were
and
just
took it right to the
absolutely
client.
thrilled.
Yep.
So good work on that one, dude.
So that was the team knocked that out of the park, and I've got to say that was actually one of the fastest transformations we've had in the shop as well. You've got guys that when you're doing PPF, you will be begging for a G-Wagon after doing an Ineos.
Yeah.
Well, you had what else? You had last week the Turismo that delivered
Yes.
in
Oh,
the
the
pure
Turismo's-
purple people.
It's the obsidian purple.
That car
Yeah.
was sick.
I always tell people, I'm like, if you're on the fence with the color,
Purple.
just go for it.
Yeah.
Just go
Yeah.
for it. Because he was back and forth. It's like, it's purple. And I'm like, yes, it's purple. Do it. And it's
But
one
it was
of those.
a deep purple. It's not like
Yeah, it was not.
it was like a
there's-
Barney out there.
It wasn't
right?
a Barney, wasn't an Easter purple. I mean, this was beautiful. Black at times and then just dark, beautiful purple.
But on that car,
That's
it
fantastic.
looked fantastic.
Yeah. So it's a Panamera Turismo Turbo.
Yeah.
I mean, it checks all
It's
the
a
right
fast car.
boxes.
It's super cool.
and now it's purple. So it's like, yes.
Now it looks
With
like somebody put a
with like
huge.
the chalk interior.
Yeah, and it looks like somebody put a huge PTS paint job on it now. I mean, it's
That's exactly what it looks
like.
like.
How about the red 911? That thing was
Beauty.
That it was-
Absolute.
it
What was that, Daniel? Was that metallic red hood?
Yes, metallic red hood. So it was a black 911. It was a Carrera. Was it a 4S GTS?
So it was just an S.
Was it really? Yeah, that thing looks so
And it was a
It's just an S.
Just an S, I know.
Yeah.
yeah. No, Oh my
That
gosh,
thing
I'm
was
gonna get
fantastic.
slaughtered on here.
Yeah,
for-
yeah,
yeah, right.
I'm a
Yeah, here
Porsche
comes the
guy,
hate.
right?
Yeah.
No, it's just a
Sorry, controversy is good. Controversy is good.
It's up from the Carrera, right? So we got an S. But we did it in the metallic red hood from Pure, and then the neodyne powder coated wheels.
yeah.
Really made that thing pop.
Satin neodyne too.
Yeah.
It looked. I mean, it looked like a paint job.
It really
It
did.
looked like we had clients that were like, "What PTS color is that?"
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah,
like,
we
it's
got to
not.
put a picture of that up on
Well, I
this.
say we'll throw that on here, but that was also the thing. I told him I was like, please go to a PTS event.
Yeah.
Please just pull
Yeah.
up in this
Yeah.
car at a PTS event.
Yeah.
No, but no, that was a fantastic one. And we've been doing the what I would call like the more I don't even know how you'd word it, but just the cars that get driven, right? The Escalades, the Denali's, the Yukons. We've been doing a lot of those, and I'm loving that people are wanting to make those custom, right? It's like why wouldn't you make your everyday car
Superman.
just a little cooler?
Yep.
Yeah.
You know?
Remember that one? Superman?
Oh yeah, the Superman was fantastic. That's another one of those where it's like, are you sure? And then you see it and you're like, all
Okay,
right, he
it
was
works.
sure and that
Yeah,
works.
yeah,
Yeah. So
Yeah.
at this point, I'm loving that people are coming to us with visions, and I don't really have to do much other than deliver that vision.
Well, we talk
know?
a lot, Danny, about how humbled we are by our clients and how appreciative we are of our clients. You get a lot of clients that just come to you and say, just do whatever you want.
Oh, we've been
Yeah.
very lucky with that. Yeah.
That's-
I
fun.
mean, the idea that somebody just walks in. We had a guy walk in. He's done it twice now with two brand new 296s, Ferrari 296s, and he's like, go wild, go crazy. Do whatever you think would be really cool. And the last one we delivered was pretty outlandish with the white wheels and everything.
It was gorgeous though.
Yeah,
It
it turned
just
out fabulous.
And what I love too, and the team loves this, is we'll do a lot of unique cars, whether it be because of color or things that we've done to it. But I would say more than half of the vehicles we touch end up at either a car show, some event. They're somewhere out in public getting photographed or videoed. And it is such a rush to be able to see the cars that we've been able to bring through the shop and work on, race cars too. And the guy's like, I worked on that, or we did that. And it's just, it's such a cool feeling to see that car out and being appreciated, and then most of all being used.
Yeah, I see cars we worked on all the time, especially color changes. I mean, it's a lot of fun for
Well,
sure.
how's workflow been over there?
We're stacked. I'll say it, we are fortunate. We are very fortunate. We are stacked. I've got a team that, every time I'm like, all right, I think this is the limit, they find a way to bust through. They're constantly elevating their game, whether it be through just speeding up, new techniques, things like that. But as far as shop flow, we're taking cars as soon as people call. Like I'm like, okay, yeah, we'll get you in. But we are starting to kind of find a unique rhythm on how to get those cars into place, whether it be getting them, just the decon, right? Decontamination wash on it, getting it staged and ready to where we can start tearing things down, removing things. And that has been kind of the next hurdle, right? You'll get guys that are very efficient, that are very good at laying film, and you kind of reach a point where you go, okay, we've reached that. So then as a shop manager, you've got to start looking, okay, how can we start using the square footage that we have to speed up the process, whether it be having the kits plotted or printed where we're using kits in certain areas, having stuff like that ready, to even film management. I don't think we've ever ordered this much film in our life, and that's a whole nother animal, is that you're looking at that going, okay, how many cars do we have coming in next week? Okay, and just trying to stay ahead of that curve. But that's been fun for me. I know that the guys are having a blast too, because they're getting to find out exactly what it is they can accomplish too.
Yeah, I mean, what I love about our staff, and we're so blessed to have the crew that we have. I mean, again, it's humbling, right? So, whenever we put up a task for them or a challenge for them, they always meet it.
Yeah.
And we can be a bit unreasonable at times.
This week is one of them.
Yeah, this week's a great example of being unreasonable. I think we said that we needed to produce 3 or 4 full PPF jobs in 2 days. And, we challenge the guys. We incentivize our guys, of course, but everybody rose to that challenge, and we're gonna hit the hurdle, aren't we, Daniel?
Oh yeah, oh yeah,
Like, without question, right?
no doubt in my mind. Yeah.
You know, it's really cool to see, being on the sales side so much, and I just kind of peek my head into the shop and into service from time to time. To see all the different cars that we get to touch and do, and different designs and different ideas that clients have and different setups people want. That all goes into that mental Rolodex, right? That we can just pull from when somebody says, "Hey, I have an idea," and you're like, "Oof, bad idea," right? Or "That's a fantastic idea. Let's run with that." That's really exciting for me. That each week I feel like we have something very unique going out into the market to be seen. Or Silvio, you're putting down some serious track times in a car most people didn't think could do a lap that fast, and that gives us a competitive edge, right?
Yeah.
And it gives us a lot of pull, but it's exciting because that's all done with our clients and our team and working together. And I think, but I know that that's really what makes us special.
Yeah.
And it's exciting, and we're growing. We have bigger problems, bigger headaches, more staff, ordering more film, but all these things just come with growth. And it's just been a great journey.
It's just getting started.
Yeah, and it's just kicking off.
What I really like is all of our staff likes what they do and they care. Actually, that's probably the biggest thing. Everybody cares. I don't see a single person that works for us that does not care about the product.
You nailed it on that.
So the client that came in yesterday, he actually called me last night, apologized. He's like, "Man, I didn't know that you had to get a car back. I apologize." I called him back and I said, "Hey,
gosh,
I was like, "No, we love having you part of our family." But exactly what you said. He goes, "Your staff is the most passionate guys that I've ever been around," and he took notice of that, and that's something that we hear on a fairly regular basis, right? Is it's the people that are here that really make this place special. When they film guys are installing film and their cars are being shown, our client, I won't say his name, but he said, "I know that they're proud of that work," right? You don't get that in every establishment. This is true. Every car is like an art piece. I did that car. And you hear our guys say that. I set that car up for the track, right? I laid that piece of film on that entire front end. That car's now featured online. That's the juice, right? That's your favorite word. That's the juice, right? That's why we do this.
That's my favorite saying. It's the juice for me is seeing our employees happy. For me, one of the reasons that I believe our employees are happy is we truly take care of our employees. There are so many places that fall miserably short at taking care of their employees, and you can never take employees for granted. People always say, "Oh, it's so cool, Cody, you've created this, you've created that." That's bullshit. I didn't create anything. Everybody that it works with me on the team with us, that's who created everything. I can give you the best business plan on the planet, but if you don't have the people, the right people in the right places to make that plan work, you have absolutely nothing. So I almost take offense when somebody says, "I've done such an amazing job." And I'm like, I think I've done an okay job. But assembling the team and the work that they put out and assembling you guys, that's what makes all of this work.
Setting up for the next podcast, we have anything exciting coming down the pipe?
Well,
any events?
I'd like some questions. I mean, our audience, anybody, ask us some questions.
Yeah.
I'd like to answer, send some emails, text messages, whatever. We'd love to answer some questions.
Yeah, I think that's great. Yeah.
Anybody else? No? Okay.
So, we've got that track event coming up. Where
we do have the track event.
And that's going to be exciting, right? Because we have actually a pretty cool stable of cars here within the S Collective that'll make their way to the track for people to kind of test and try out, see what you can do with them. I think that'll be kind of fun.
And we totally left this out. We have a new website coming, right?
Yeah,
website.
In fact,
maybe I spilled the beans there, but we have a new website. It is going to. I can't give away too much, but it is really exciting. We got to see it the other day, right?
Yeah.
2 days ago.
2 days ago. It's going to be fabulous.
I'm actually speechless because it is that good. So back to the events. You'll be able to see events. You'll be able to see, shop builds, what Silvio's working on, cool cars that we're doing. So there's a
Our
lot of
schedule
things.
as well.
Really,
That's
what's that?
Our schedule as well. So you
schedule.
can see the shows, events, things that
We're gonna have a
doing.
section dedicated to Kurt's hair.
That
There
that-
will be
that.
a page dedicated to my hair.
Yeah.
Product of the
So
month or
hair
something.
products,
Yeah.
products
Hair
I
products.
use, prep time.
Get ready with me.
Yeah.
DIY videos, how to.
Surprisingly, it doesn't take long. It's a misconception around here.
man.
But so that wraps up this episode. We're excited to be here. Thank you guys again for just sharing this morning. What the past couple of weeks have looked like. We'll catch you guys on episode 15. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you have any questions, please send an email, DM. We'd love to get back to you.
Kurt,
And-
all of us are at S Collective. Daniel, Silvio, Cody,
Kurt.
Kurt at scollective.com. If you want to email us directly, we'd love
Yeah.
to hear from you.
Love to hear from you. So we'll see you guys on the next one.